Perhaps for the first time in years, there has been other disturbing video of civilians being displaced or worse. Here to talk about that, Arya Gemo is an independent humanitarian activist from Syria. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Arya. So let me get this right. You're a member of the Kurdish and Yazidi communities. Tell us what has been happening to your family, to your people in Syria over the past few days.
Absolutely. Thank you, first of all, for covering this subject that I think is very important for the region and the world overall. We are very tempted, after almost 14 years of Syrian war, civil war, to call it as these are Syrian rebels and Syria is going to be free. Unfortunately, I'm here to actually witness and tell you that this is actually not what's going to happen. I'm indeed from the Kurdish Yazidi community in Afrin, not far from Idlib, that is under control of this group since now 6 years, since 2018, with the active support by Turkey. And what we can see there on the ground is some attempt to the human rights of every population, some stealing, kidnapping, and the Sharia is in place over there. So in terms of human rights and living conditions, the Syrians won't be as happy as they think they would be by the relief of having Bashar al-Assad living, unfortunately, as much as I don't support him as well. They currently have the choice between these Islamists that are coming from Jabhat al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. We can clearly see the signs within the fighters of HTS. So what is coming after for the civilians is very, very bad.
So we're hearing about large numbers of people who are having to flee their homes and move to other parts of Syria, parts that were, until recently, relatively peaceful and under Kurdish control.
Absolutely. This was always the case with the with the Syrian war, is that most of the civilians fleeing and that cannot go abroad will actually take refuge in the Kurdish control area, because the system in place actually do respect them in opposition to the one from the HTS. And let me remind you also something, by the way that the HTS is governing is not for the Syrian interests. When you go to the occupied region of Idlib or Afrin, what you will see is Turkish flags around, Turkish lira being used, the Turkish electricity, your phone will be on Turkish GSM network. So that leads to a question, are we really liberating Syria here? Or is there something else? Because from already the Aleppo government, some of the offices, you can already see a Turkish flag inside and a picture of Erdogan. So what will come next for the Syrian? I'm not sure, but I highly doubt that it would be good, as it wasn't good already 6 years ago for Afrin and Idlib.
And of course, the Kurdish fighters did the West a very big favor back when ISIS took over large swathes of Syria and Iraq. They faced down the jihadists and they won the support of the Americans. But what is the situation now? Have the Kurds been abandoned in Syria, and how can they now protect themselves?
They are currently being abandoned, indeed. The Kurds have been the only force that made a corridor in Sheikh Massoud and in the different district of Aleppo in order to save civilian lives. So we're speaking about dozens of thousands of people who are currently fleeing. There are some numbers of 20,000, some numbers of 50,000. It is yet unclear. And the Kurdish forces have been alone there. They've been alone securing a corridor for people to flee. They've been alone to secure these people homes, these people lands. And now they are still accusing attacks from the SNA, supported by Turkey, against the Kurdish forces and the populations that are fleeing. So now the population is slowly moving to deeper part of Rojava, to Kobane and so on. That is also heavily attacked by the Turkish military aircraft. So they don't have electricity, they don't have running water, they don't have gas, because all the civilian infrastructure have been targeted months ago, if not years.
So how do you see the power play happening in Syria moving forward then? Because you've got the Turks, as you said, who are behind some of these jihadist groups in the Free Syrian Army. You've got the Americans, who are a bit ambiguous, and we don't know what the political situation will be once Trump comes back. And of course, you've got the failing Assad regime, which is being propped up by Iran. I mean, what do you see as the future coming out of this for your people?
Well, it looks like the Assad regime is currently very weak and might lose again some position, but it's yet unclear with the support of Iran and Russia. What is for sure is that as much as the HTC and the SNA are winning different locations and keep position, Hama and Aleppo are very big cities which they can expand and grow their influence. That will be translated by more influence by this dangerous jihadist group on the ground that will be not only attacking Syrians, but will be attacking also worldwide they will be reinforcing their communication strategy, their marketing strategy, and recruiting. Because among those fighters that we're seeing, we find people from Oro, from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan. They were hired, and this hiring process will continue. They will continue to create these jihadist groups and send it over also internationally. We've seen these forces that are currently attacking Bashar al-Assad regime attacked Libya, Armenia, and other places in the world, maybe in the future.
Ariel Gemo, great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.